Is there, as far as you know, no, let me rephrase the question. Do you know whether the president knew what was going on at the panel?
Yes. I know he knew.
How did you know that?
He was in direct contact with the supervisors, like I said. Daba
Marena. Man Lafikor. And a few others.
Anyong
Aliuba, Aliulo, I think. Yes. They were also arrested.
Yes.
Were they brought before the panel?
Malafikor was brought before the panel. That I remember.
How about the rest?
The rest, I wouldn't know. They are brought before the panel. But Malafi was before the panel. Because I spoke to him. He was part of the arresting officers before he was even arrested.
Did he confess to being part of the coup?
Yes. I remember.
But you don't know whether Marena was brought before the panel?
I was not there at the time.
But you would be there on a daily basis, wouldn't you? In fact, the panel worked day and night.
Some part of the night. Others used to travel up to Senindur lives in Bara. At 6-7 he would close. That was the time that we stayed like up till 2100 hours. This was when Haidara told us that Hadisambu said we should stay, he is coming to give us a message. He had waited like 1 hour or 45 minutes. Then he came with the message that Daba Marena and others had escaped. When they were being transported to Janjambure prisons. There was a lot of noise in the office, in the panel there, in the conference hall. Everybody was asking questions.
What were those questions about?
Like everybody was saying, how could that happen? Yes.
Was the story believed?
5 people escaped, and how were they transported? Haidara didn't like these questions, and then he ended up saying, if you have any further question,
Haidara did not like the question.
Harisambu did not like the questions. He said he told us, if you have any further questions, write them down and pass it to Haidara. And make sure you sign. So the panel just closed.
Why?
Stopped work, and then everybody was like, confused, and we left.
Members were scared.
I was going with Molam and Cisse.
Were members of the panel scared to do what was suggested?
Yes, people were terrified.
Why?
How can these people escape? But, Mfali Jaba was saying, tell us exactly what happened.
Nobody
is comfortable with what you are saying. So we pack and leave.
But the point I'm driving at is more about writing the questions down and signing it. Did anybody do it?
No, nobody did that. That was going to be a dead warrant.
Why do you say that?
I think because the way he responded to us, and he said, any other further questions, just write your name and then you sign it. As he threw Haidara, and I would get it. But nobody write any other question.
Why do you think it was, or it would have been signing one's death warrant?
This was the director. He would think you are challenging him.
You know, director, I don't know
As I said before, the environment was not friendly.
But Mr. Witness, tell me, was it the director you people were scared of? Or something else?
We are scared of all the directors, the jugglers, and the president.
You believe? Why would you be scared of all three of them? You mentioned three entities, the directors, the junglers, and the president. Why would you be scared of all these three entities?
Because we put our constraints to the director. At one time, Haidara put the constraints through Musa Jammeh. Musa Jammeh responded to him that Kebaku atul kabalafa nyulele.
And Musa Jammeh ala jabiro munyineti ko Kebaku al kabalafa nyulele.
And who was Keba?
Meaning the president.
Ngolem president.
So tell me, what or who were you people afraid of? Was it the directors? Was it the junglers? Or was it the president?
All of them.
Do you think the directors would do anything to you?
They were the reporting line.
So why were you afraid of them?
If Harisamu take your question before the president.
What will happen?
You can have the worst.
And what would that be?
You might be in prison or killed.
Was that the working arrangements? Was it the way things happened at the time?
You might be in prison at that time.
And nobody asked any questions. Now let's move on to the next panel on which you worked. That would have been the Freedom newspaper. Let's deal with this briefly.
Freedom newspaper, I was called by my OC that I supposed to join with Senindur to the NIA.
Freedom newspaper na OC le command konsika fu Seninduruma.
That there are a lot of suspects arrested in connection to giving freedom to Freedom newspaper. We arrived at the NIA in the afternoon. And Malik was there, Malik Mbub. Lamin Bojang. Duta Kamaso. One staff sergeant Jammeh, Ibrahim Sabina, I don't know. I know his nickname.
Staff sergeant Dobije.
We sat as a panel and advised the panel members that these people supposed not to be beaten. Like how it had been happening in some instances.
So at this stage, you had recognized that the panel, the system of work of the panels, is to torture people, take them before panel members, get them to confess. Is that right?
Coming, panelo katama nyame ni mol natinanje ike ilipale ni ilipa itlaftamina wole ofo sa akakenu wala nyama fo tata silola ba.
Because that was my second panel there, I decided to make this across.
Wale munna panelo la mabe flanjangote dalilo le asabu nganyimfo.
So the following day,
but to who did you make this suggestion?
To the panel members, the NIA and the soldiers.
So the soldiers also participated in the panel.
Yes. The following day, when we reported, we were going to the conference hall.
Mr. Witness, just allow me to take you back a little bit. There's an important point that I had missed, and I need to clear this. Abdullah Kujabi, former Director General of the NIA, also appeared before the Ndur Cham panel. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Do you answer now?
Abdullah Kujabi came to the panel like 2000 hours. He was helped to come in by the junglers because he could barely walk.
Why couldn't he walk?
He was beaten.
By who?
By the junglers. When he arrives, we told them that we told you people to stop the beating. And here is someone who couldn't walk. So we are not going to take him to the hospital. We are not going to have any statement from him. So he didn't sit at the panel.
Well, he said he sat. Or he passed out. He fainted. But was he in fact in a position to give any statement?
We didn't even listen to him. We told them to take him to the hospital. Then the panel closed immediately.
But the question is, was he in a position to give any statement?
He cannot give a statement at that time. We have observed that.
So the panel had no choice but to fold.
Yes.
So he was not interviewed not because he was tortured, but because he could not give a statement.
Yes, the way he appears, no.
Thank you very much. Now let's go back to Freedom Newspaper. You were telling us you convened one afternoon.
Yes, the following day when we reported, I met Lamin Cham of the Point newspaper. I saw his eyes very red. And his shirt was torn. So I told him, Tom, what's the problem? He told me, Tom, we were severely beaten last night. I entered the panel hall. I told them that you people did not stop the beating. So I told Senindur we pack up and leave. So we left and never returned.
Why did you do that?
Because they started the beating again, and then this was not the treason. It was a different issue. So I told Senindur we cannot sit to wait for this.
You said we had to leave because they have started the torturing again. And this was not the treason. So we had to leave. That's what you said, right? Would it have been acceptable if it was the treason?
Because the treason we had no much choice, but this one, I told you, let's just go. Treason was scared that we would be recalled to ask or to write why. Let's just take go. Yo bari nyindong wala na kur ketanya min kosien nduri ngata bari anyin sila nya itandiko isen kumandi no nanne denga muruka saferoke.
So it does not matter the crime.
Sa man kumaya komin kuja o min keta
reason
komin jamfa jawo nyin
sedition
mi alon ko yekuma fop mi nyala min fola kamo tajirinte ya
theft
sunyaro
rape whatever the crime, the law does not allow torturing the suspect in order to obtain a confession.
That's correct. We spent only 1 day and a half and we left.
You left under protest. Would you accept that that's the honorable thing to do?
That's correct.
Would you agree that that was the lawful action to take?
That's correct.
Would you agree that even in the first instance, the treason one, that's what all of you ought to have done?
I thought about that. I spoke to my boss, Ibrahim Ismaila Chongan. He told me, be careful. This is treason, you could be connected to it.
Are you suggesting that Chongan encouraged you to put up with some illegality?
He was advising me about the dangers of what I wanted to do.
In that instance, you decided to shut up and put up.
Alright?
In the second instance, you refused to shut up, you refused to put up. Why?
It was getting too much.
What was getting too much?
The beatings were getting too much. Where I saw my namesake, this is somebody I knew. So I just told Senindur, let's just go. Whatever comes, we take that.
When you left, did anything happen to you?
Actually, nothing.
Did anybody query you?
No query.
Did anybody censor you?
Nobody questioned.
So this whole excuse that I was afraid that something would happen to me if I did not put up with it, It's just an excuse. You refuse to participate in illegality and nothing happened to you. True?
That circumstance, you have no choice.
But I disagree with you. On this point, there's a choice.
Just like in the sedition, I was the head. And I took the decision to withdraw myself. In the treason, I was in the head.
But all the point I am trying to make is that for all of you who participated in this illegal enterprise, there was a choice. In the first instance, you personally did not exercise the choice. But you did the second instance. You agree? And do you know how that investigation ended, the Freedom newspaper case?
No, I did not know how it ended.
Did you participate in another panel? Tell us about the Esa Baji one.
The Esa Baji panel. Esa was my Inspector General of Police.
Inspector General Latinum Police.
I was called to report to the NIA.
NIA.
They said Esa had been conniving with armed robbers. And the witness was going to come from mile 2. I thought as much as somebody who is convicted and did not say anything about Esa during his proceedings. How comes he could talk about Esa when he is serving sentence? I did not take part in the panel. I went back.
Did you first hear what he had to say?
I did not wait for that. I did not wait for that.
But in these two cases in which you withdrew in the panel, what is the underlying reason why you withdrew?
I know they were just, for Esa Baji, I know that could not be true. Probably somebody is behind the scene just to implicate him. I thought also that it was not fair for Esa being a former Inspector General of Police to be investigated by me.
And Lunata for Fananco Nintekela Tilimuti, Esa Keta Inspector General Tele Police. So what on Tengana Walaku Kiskizia Manyang?
Would you say that the principal reason was your belief that things were not being done in accordance with the law?
Yes.
And therefore you withdrew.
Yes.
On this particular instance, did anything happen to you?
Nothing happens. Esa just met me after when he was reinstated and then told me, I know what had happened, so you are bold enough to decide.
Esa kolu nyunkola birina enyoje ayina fanyanko akonye yejusu bengo ke puru ka kolu londi tilimukang umukule timentembeta.
You participated in the drug squad panel, correct?
Drug squad panel.
Yes, I did.
And it was a case against Benedict Mendy, Maulud Fall, Benedict Jame. Maulud Fall, Abdoulaye Cisse, and Jata. Were there any tortures in this panel, as far as you know?
For tajirinte ya ketala ba nyim panelo watom na belorin komite alo nyami.
No, not in my presence.
Amankente nyala.
Did you have any knowledge of any tortures?
Foye kibar soto la wala londir soto la komin tajirinte ya ketaje.
Not in my presence.
Did you see anything which suggested to you that these people were also tortured?
Foye fenjele min baytandela ko konyum molde ye tajirinte ya.
No.
Ani.
They were going and coming.
Katale kana.
That was not basically an investigation. It was a confrontation of their conduct. Like an insider was writing something about some individuals. So they brought those documents for investigation. Everybody was confronted with what was written against you.
Well, confrontation is part of the investigative process, only that it is not often used in the Anglophone or common law system. It is more a continental system. But there you have it. You had an investigation carried out and you made your findings.
Yes.
And you participated throughout.
And the data rajele kabra wato be.
Throughout, I participated throughout.
And you participated throughout because you believe that the process was beyond reproach. There were no illegalities as far as you can tell.
Ima beta e continenta jemi wati na yajelo ko kolbita ka nyama anyanta tala wala nyama silola.
And your findings were that these people did it. Is that the case?
All of them confessed to what was written against them. It was coming from an insider from them.
And you participated on the Gambia Football Federation panel also.
Gambia Football Bundanying Cabriya panelo Lundi data Ranungela.
That is Mustafa Kebe, Stajane, Basiru Bajo, and Boridabo.
Mustafa Kebe, Boridabo.
Were there any tortures?
No, there was not. That panel was centered at the police headquarters.
You participated throughout, correct?
Yes.
And what were the findings?
The findings were they were not responsible of the mistake that had happened. This was a match between Gambia and Sierra Leone. Because of some typing error, one of the footballer was like 17 years, and then they made a mistake to certain age, and he was the Sierra Leone write a petition, and he was disqualified.
Amunta katadam fulal kono mo kilimbije ka foko asiobe sanji tanding worowula bari nata men safe nata san nangam dole safe ko Sierra Leone bringa anata finti inata safero ke kela kamfada itandi.
And Gambia was disqualified from the tournament.
Nata Gambia da bondi wonyose ato kam udali dole.
That's why
but there were no tortures.
No tortures.
And your finding was that these people are not responsible. Did anything happen to you?
Nothing happened.
You found that these people did not commit any wrong.
Correct? That's correct.
And nothing happens to you?
Nothing happens to me.
Now let's talk about the 2009 Langtombong
2009 Langtombong
treason allegation.
I was part of the panel that investigated the treason. The panel members were exactly too much. About 16 or 17. I recorded some names. You have Omar Koli.
Omar Koli BJ.
NIA.
NIA.
Louis Gomez.
Louis Gomez.
NIA.
NIA.
Lamin S. Sanyang.
Lamin S. Sanyang.
Late Lamin Sanyang.
Bantale, Tala Lamin Sanyang.
Gambia Police Force.
Gambia Police Force.
Bora Koli.
Bora Koli.
National Army.
Na Sojar Bunda.
General, huh?
General Lemfo.
Pardon?
He was a general, isn't he?
General Matifo.
Bora Koli?
Yes.
No, Lieutenant Colonel.
At the time, Lieutenant Colonel, okay.
Owato Lieutenant Colonel.
Sukuta Jame.
Sukuta Jame.
OC Invest.
OC Menobe Kiskisiro Bundala.
Late.
Tala. Tala.
Solo Bojang.
Solo Bojang.
Armed Forces.
Obe Sojaro La Carola.
Jere Gomez.
Jere Gomez.
Intelligence.
Obe Kullo Dinkarimol. Sojaro La Kullo Dinkarim Bunda.
Yankuba Baji.
Yankuba Baji.
Director Analysis.
Wolem Director ti Menuka Kolu Tame ke Tente. NIA.
Buba BI.
Buba BI.
Deputy Director.
Lesimbe Director Kang.
Idrissa Job. Assistant Commander.
Atemo Commander Nolan Cold.
Sirif Gassama. NIA Inspector.
NIA Inspector.
Lamin Mane. NIA. Senindur. Police Officer. Lamin Cham. Police Officer. Alaji Cisse. Military Intelligence.
Sojar Kullo Dinkaringo.
Hassan Baji. That's
Hassan Baji from where?
Hassan Baji Munto.
I don't know, from the NIA.
Mankwemo for NIA Lomba.
16 people. Were there any tortures?
Yes. Lamin Mari told me he was
Ibrahim
Mari. He told me he was beaten the previous night that he came before the panel.
Ako ya bute le suto la janinga be finti la panelo nyati la samo.
And who was Ibrahim Amare?
Jumala Ibrahim Amare.
He was one of the witnesses who came before the panel.
Wasn't he in fact the principal witness?
He was.
And the principal witness upon whom the case rested, the person who provided the incriminatory evidence, was tortured before he gave his statement.
That's what he told me.
Did you see any telltale signs of the torture?
I saw black spots on the wall.
Could you take your answer again? Sorry about that.
I saw black spots, black marks on the wall.
Did you see anything on him to suggest that he was tortured?
No, not on his body.
Did you believe him?
I believe him.
In your statement, could you take a look at it? Paragraph 14. Paragraph 14, can you read it, please?
Paragraph 14 of what?
Your statement. Start from the last line, the last sentence, the last two sentences of paragraph 13. My role in this panel was to obtain statements. Proceed from that.
Yes, 1 minute.
Yeah, minute killing.
Was it 2009 Lantombo, right?
Yes.
Lantombo, okay.
Paragraph 13.
This one is not paragraph.
The version of the statement I have is numbered into paragraphs.
This one is not numbered. This one is not numbered.
Okay. Listen to this and tell me whether that's what you told the investigator. All right. 2009 treason of Langtombong. The panelists from the police were myself, Senindur, late Lamin Sanyang. Did you say that?
I can go on from there.
Yes.
2009 treason of Langtombong.
Perhaps maybe come down a little bit, because so that we can save time. Started from the second to last sentence. My role in this panel. At the middle of the page. Have you seen it? 6 lines down from the paragraph you were reading.
6 lines down. 6 lines down. Okay. My role in this panel was to obtain statements from the alleged coup plotters.
Ntelo la menti nyim panelo to wolem kakuma kangulu soto nyim molu kono iko menu be kudeta fero la num.
During this process, I noticed that Ibrahim Amare was seriously beaten during the night.
Ko nyim kono nga korosi ko Ibrahim Amare ya lipa dimindin na suto tambila
by
the junglers.
Jongla solo.
Did you say this to the investigators?
Yes.
Okay.
He was beaten.
Yes, read the next paragraph.
When he came before me for his statement to be taken, I could see marks on his face, and he also removed his shirt and showed me some lacerations on his back. He took me to the room where he was beaten. When we entered the room, I saw some black pipe marks on the wall. Which indicates that they were probably beating him with pipes. There were no blood stains. They were also careful not to injure the suspects when torturing them.
Proceed.
Apart from Ibrahim Amare, none of the others appeared to be beaten or complain of beatings to me. Later, Lai Juf was released.
Sorry?
Later, Lai Juf was released. Because when he was confronted with the principal suspect, Ibrahim Amare, alleged that he was part of the coup. Mare could not even recognize him. After completing the investigations, the files were completed. The files that were completed were sent to AG's chambers for legal advice.
Did you say this to the investigators?
Yes, I did.
Answer now, please.
Yes, I did.
And instead of referring to Mare as principal suspect, that should read principal witness.
Yes.
So in fact, you are confirming in this statement that the principal witness was tortured before he gave his statement. That's true. How do you see that?
That's not normal. That's not correct.
His statement was taken, correct?
Yes.
And it was a statement that incriminated the persons who would ultimately be accused.
That's true.
And as all the material was put together, including the incriminatory statement of principal witness Ibrahim Amare, correct?
Wato mina yekuol be kafunyoma mim fonga data raje sedo jaro nyim fonga kafo mi Ibrahim Amare yala kuma kongol be deda.
Yes.
Ha.
And the file was sent to AG Chambers.
Sa natana wo file nyim samba AG la Chambers.
Yes, sir.
And it was the basis for the prosecution of the accused persons.
Sa wonata tinna pour ye wo mol min tumi pour que samba kiti o nyatili wan.
And it was the basis of their conviction.
And wole fana nata tinna luwa nate bulo lay kan.
Correct?
That's correct.
And they were sentenced to very long terms of imprisonment.
Luwa nata buso le kamiyalan ko itata kasoto fo wati jang.
True?
That's true.
In your report, did you indicate that Ibrahim Amare
itala kiba alla kibaro mi aliya dada wala reporto de fali akijere ko Ibrahim Amare ya
was beaten before he gave his statement?
Ya li pala janaka ala kuma kangodi.
That was not in the report. The report is always written by the NIA. Members of the panel from different departments would be signatories as part of the panel.
Do you think that the fact that Ibrahim Amare was beaten was important? It was a material fact, correct?
Ingo ya jenya dira comme Ibrahim Amare nyin kanko ya butele wakata fenet mi an kuma ba katangale nyin ko kon.
I don't understand what you mean.
Ma fahame memfo.
The fact that Ibrahim Amare was beaten before he made his statement.
Comme nyin kanko Ibrahim Amare ya butele janna bala kuma kongol dila.
Is a material fact. It's a very significant, it's an important fact.
No. That could not be important.
Mr. Witness, the principal witness in a case is beaten by the state just before he gave his statement. You just told us that that is not normal, that is unlawful.
That's not correct.
Don't you think that that is a very important fact that ought to have been known by the authorities?
That's important.
It should have been in the report. Is that not the case?
Yes, it should have.
It should have been before the judges.
Should have been.
So that the judges would know whether the evidence he gave was independently and freely given and not obtained by coercion, torture, or pressure.
Komin tonya nyin mari la nyun kuma kawanying ya ta nyale mami ya lonko e ma tajirinte ya e ma fenkala.
Do you agree?
That's true. At that time, the case in nature, not so that any person will be bold enough to put that in the report.
Scared? Who were you scared of?
The orders of the day, what was happening, the circumstances. When treason is mentioned, it's like, it's like a bushfire. Everybody, especially the panelists, are extra careful of what you are doing.
What's your words? Are they extra careful or extra compliant?
I would say both.
Well, if they are extra careful, They should avoid illegality.
It's a balang. It's a fanjam fanino pula mi ani luwa manta.
If they are compliant,
Na tere be sondin ne.
They accept anything.
Ibe sonna kuo kula.
Which was the case. Extra careful or extra compliant?
The reason why I said extra careful, when you are caught sometimes even talking to a suspect, they tend to be inquisitive to find out what's happening. And my colleague Ablai So was warned seriously at one time when he decided to give Wasa a cup of tea.
Only for that he was admonished. But some of your superiors tell us they were giving them tea and coffee, the environment was nice, they sat there and they were jovial and joking with everybody.
Ablai was warned in my presence.
That description by your superiors, it was false.
Actually, the suspects were not asking for much.
Why don't you answer the question more directly? Your superiors were not speaking the truth when they suggested that all was good and done. They were providing tea, coffee, and were very jovial and friendly to the suspects.
That's not correct.
They lied.
That's it. That's correct.
Well,
these treason cases, the question comes back. Who were you afraid of?
We were afraid of the government of the day.
The government acted through personalities, individuals, and institutions. Who specifically were you afraid of?
We are afraid of the president.
Did you believe that you had to do what Yaya Jammeh wanted?
Yes, I believe.
And all of you did that.
That is true.
You closed your eyes to the illegalities.
I've said that.
No,
just answer.
Yes, that's true.
And you did what he wanted, which was produce incriminatory reports. Sitting here, how do you feel about the fact that you have participated in a process and you knew a very significant fact which could have exonerated the accused persons? You kept quiet, everybody kept quiet, it landed the person in jail on a death sentence.
Can you repeat again?
It could exonerate them. But you kept, all of you kept quiet. It led to the conviction of these people, these accused persons. And they were sentenced to death.
And do nata luanata na buso le kankwe nyanta ke fale.
How do you feel about that?
Yo kalamute balo bala nyati.
Personally, very bad about that.
Okay, until me ni reality.
If I could stop it in any way, I would stop it in every way.
Natara asembo ben kakuntwa nyato ka bai tombi mbewele kelanu.
I did my best.
Na katola okay.
Do what I could.
Well, I could see that in the treason cases, you did what the government, what you believe the government wanted. In the less serious cases, you did what was right. Correct?
That's correct. Like when, like an investigator, it is the crime that determines the investigation.
But
When you suspect that
in your case,
certain cases,
in your case, it was the investigators who determined the crime.
It is the crime that determines the investigator. In the case of a bigger crime, you will not send a less experienced investigator. So in the case of bigger crimes, you would send an experienced investigator, like in the case of murder, rape, and others.
I agree that under normal circumstances, that is what ought to be. But in your case, they selected those who would do what Yaya Jammeh wanted. True or false?
No, it's the nature of the case. So that's why they send seasoned investigators. Investigators found themselves
did they actually send seasoned investigators, or they sent compliant investigators? Investigators who would keep quiet to illegalities that were ongoing.
No, like I am not a compliant investigator. I call myself.
I would want to believe that.
Crime that determines.
I would want to believe that you are a professional investigator. But only when it suits you. What you've described here is a very patchy record. You were involved in 4 investigations, 4 panel investigations.
More than that.
Here you described 4. Ndur Cham, Lang Tombong, the GPF, Gambia Football Federation, Football Association, sorry, GFA, Gambia Football Association, and Freedom Panel, the Freedom newspaper. 4. And Esa Baji 5. Okay, the Esa Baji
Tanya.
Freedom newspaper. And you also mentioned Drug Squad. And Drug Squad. No problem. Those were lesser crimes. You did what you were supposed to do. Correct?
That's correct.
The treason ones, you closed your eyes and kept quiet, or you put up with the illegalities that were ongoing.
For the treason, I have no choice.
Yes, I put up your defense. You had no choice. Put up your defense if you must.
If I'm bondini la fladron, I will say no nyame.
I said I was just recording statements.
I understand that. And the commission would take all that into account. And principally your level. And what it is you could have done. And they would look at that in relation to what you've done in other instances where you had the authority. The commission would also look at how remorseful you are to all this. But that aside, it was the system, it was the norm that cases in which Yaya Jammeh was interested did you expect that you had to give him the results that he wanted? Report the results. Was that the case?
That's true.
Do you answer now?
That's true.
And as such, people were prosecuted on the basis of evidence that was illegally obtained. Answer now. Some were prosecuted on the basis of evidence that was manufactured. For
manufactured, no. Prisoners, basically, all what they said is what is being recorded.
Yes. What they said is what you write. But what is not written is how did it happen that this person said the things they said. That is not written. Correct?
That is not written.
And that is where the mischief lies, isn't it? That's where the problem is, isn't it? And that is where the manufacturing, the cooking of the evidence takes place. Are you aware of?
When you said manufacturing, it means we are bringing in new things or things that are not being said. In this case,
say for instance, Ibrahim Amare being beaten in advance of him providing test evidence, providing a statement.
Misal kamba Ibrahim Amare la karola ya butele fuka pare inatana kumakangol tabul. I fem for me and to left wall.
I didn't say that. I said, for instance, beating Ibrahim Amare just before he gives a statement.
Coming, misal kamba ka Ibrahim Amare bute jani watu miano ka albala kumakangol tala.
In that case, the manufacturing would come from the suspect himself.
How about those who beat him?
Could be. They could tell him, they could force him to say something before he read the panel.
Do you think they would have beaten him if they were very happy with what he had to say?
Like some people had confessed and they were beaten. I think.
But this is not. He did not confess to being a participant to the crimes.
Just love to beat, I believe. Some people had already confessed before they are even.
We're focusing on Mare. What was Mare? Was he a suspect or was he a witness?
I I think Mare was arrested at Farafenye.
Mare ya mutanum Farafenye le.
By the CEO Farafenye and his troops.
CEO member Farafenye anala soja role.
I think first he was brought in as a suspect.
Fulo ya natile nunko isobitala le.
And later he was turned to a witness.
But
the violations for which he was a suspect are completely different from the violations to which he became a witness. Isn't that the case?
Yes, that's the case.
And he gave evidence as a witness.
As a witness, yes.
Soon after he was beaten. Isn't it?
That's true.
Wouldn't that suggest to you that he was beaten in order so that he would give incriminatory evidence against those whom he provided evidence as a witness?
Coming saying, ya butela nyinkango prasa sediandro is aseke sedoti nyumol kamia lonko ya tala num foka pare prake sedoti.
That could be.
And that's precisely, and that is precisely the reason why I said manufacture evidence.
I didn't understand the manufacture. I thought you said it was coming from the recorders.
Ma faham ngamere wo manufacture ngamere kole
come from the
safer la yake barika foko abe bola molle bala meno isobita menula.
The manufacture is between the witness and the beaters.
That's true.
The recorders just dished out the toxic product of the manufacture. You agree with that?
When you put the thing, when you put them together, that's correct.
And how do you feel about this?
Like I said, I felt very bad. If I could have stopped it, I was going to do exactly that. These panels were instituted at the NIA complex, and that's not where we work. The environment, like I said, was hostile for even the recorders.
Do you feel let down by your superiors?
Yes.
Could you answer now?
Yes, I felt let down.
Now we have to wrap it up very quickly. We have 2 more topics to do. The Ghanaians or the West African migrants. Tell us briefly what you know about them.
You want me to go in detail or?
This is an important issue for the TRRC. Tell us what you know.
This is a very difficult point. I want to. The Ghanaians were intercepted at Bara. In the evenings, when Bara complained, that the residents of Bara complained that they have seen some people at the beach that they don't know. The police at Bara station arrested them. The authorities were informed.
When they were arrested in Bara, did the police have any idea what was the reason why these people were in Gambian source?
I don't know. police at Bara, I don't know whether they have any knowledge.
How were these people being described? By the police, they would have said something. We arrested X.
The police called them illegal migrants.
Do you know why they were described as illegal migrants?
They must have interacted with them, and of course that was what they said.
Did the police suggest where they were migrating to?
They were going to Europe.
Proceed.
Continue.
You received this information?
The authorities were informed. Then they were arrested to the Navy. I was informed in the night to report to the Navy that there are some illegal immigrants arrested. I joined them. There are a lot of noise here and there.
At this stage, did you hear them being described by any other name apart from illegal migrants?
At that point, no.
Proceed.
There were a lot of service chiefs there. I was also present. They were detained in a hall. So from there, I think they were going to be transported to Babajo's residence.
All of them?
I believe all of them. And I spoke to the guards there. I told him I was instructed to pick 3 people from here. So I picked the 3 and then went with them to my office.
Who instructed you to do that?
Nobody.
Why did you do that?
There were a lot of noise. Then a lot of groups here and there. So I just did that.
Why?
Basically, at that time, no reason.
Which service chiefs were there?
The army was there, the NRL,
police was there.
Of course, you knew these personalities. Kindly give us names.
I could not remember who and who exactly. But Musa Jame and others were there.
Who is this Musa Jame?
Malia.
Malia who?
Malia Juma.
Malia Mungu.
Jongula?
Jongula, yes.
How they Jongula?
NIA Director General, was he there?
NIA la kuntonko Fabenungel.
I cannot remember.
IGP, Inspector General of Police?
He was not there.
Police la kuntonko do.
Deputy IGPs?
Mimbo no police la kuntonko no manko.
Who was the most senior officer, police officer present?
Jumalem police di minna makamo be nyato je back.
It was me.
Dalam.
And what was your rank at the time?
Sergeant.
Sergeant Olamundi.
But you told us that the service chiefs were there.
Where you go? The police representation was me.
Police wala fana lantelam.
How about these other institutions? At what level were they represented?
I didn't know. It was in the night.
So you just saw people, groups of people?
Group by group. NIA groups here, military here.
But how do you know they were NIA military or
because nobody would be allowed entry to that premises if he's not a security officer.
Do you know firsthand, or is it just a belief that those people who were there were security officers?
I knew they were security officers.
How did you know that?
That's what I said. Nobody would be allowed entry into that premises.
So there you are, you just suddenly took it upon yourself to take away 3 people from the group. And you don't know why you did that.
I did that just to take them to my office. Because there was this confusion, too many statements were being made.
Like what?
Like mercenaries.
Who was saying mercenaries?
I think the soldiers. Or the junglers.
These people, did you see them carry anything?
They were carrying nothing.
No arms?
No arms.
Did you communicate with Bara police? Being the most senior officer who attended?
No, I did not.
Did you receive any information from Bara concerning weapons? Would you answer now?
No information.
Was there anything coming from Bara suggesting that these people were mercenaries?
No information. Nothing was coming from Bara.
What would you say? What was going on through your head at that time when you heard some of them mentioning mercenaries?
At that time, youths were trying to travel to Europe. I believe that they had just came to the Gambia in order to go to Europe.
But how
because
did you
people
feel?
were mistaking them for mercenaries. I knew they could land in trouble. So I decided to do that.
Do you recall the names of the people you took away?
I went with Lamin Tunkara, SCM, and Eric Yao.
How is it that you're still able to remember their names?
I stayed with them at the major crimes for a long time. Until SCN and Eric were acquitted and discharged at the court. And we are still in contact.
Why are you still in contact?
They came to the Gambia sometimes. This was facilitated by Marion. Marion called me at the headquarters. If I remember, SCN and Eric. I said yes. Well, there was a day that he told me they were coming to visit the Gambia. When they came, they were resident at Sunwin, somewhere at Bakau.
In essence, you are reunited with them. Right? And a wonderful gesture, because you pretty much, by your actions, their lives were saved.
Coming kata ye bismillah nyama nyinyata kata itandila ko inila taranya nyinga kuku utaleno.
Eric and Essien.
Eric ni Essien.
We are lucky.
Eric.
What happened to Lamin?
Lamin, Marion told me.
Lamin ko Marion ye memfonye.
When he was released, he was rearrested.
When was he released?
What did you Yabula?
He was released together with Essien and Eric.
Yeah, aning Essien aning Eric Bulanyola.
How soon after?
I kept these people in the office until about. Once Sammy was facilitating a lawyer for them, and Sammy would know.
Sammy balon nale.
And you took them to your office. What happened to the others?
The others were transported to Baba Job's company.
Do you know what happened to them afterwards?
Later I was made to understand that they were killed.
Did you hear the reason why they were killed? Did you hear the reason advanced?
That they were mistaken as mercenaries?
Ko ye mutala ko molla moyar me alon ko ya jangfa boy na boy kan nal mudi me alon ko ye jole pour ka boy
from what you saw, was there any reasonable basis to suggest that these people were mercenaries?
No.
Ani.
How do you feel that when you heard that these people were killed?
I felt very bad.
You participated in another panel. Well, you were called to participate in another panel. Chief Mane.
Chief Mane.
Ibrahim Mane. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Ade.
What happened?
I remember I was called by my OC.
Akilo bakang na OC na nengkumandi.
That there are 2 delegates coming from abroad. These delegates were to inquire about the disappearance of Chief Mane. And the 2 American brothers. I told him Chief Mane is my brother.
Mahmoud Sise and Ibu Job, correct?
Mahmoud Sise and Ibu Job. Well,
Chief Mane muna brother.
Because of Fat Jaumane.
Atungo Fat Jaumane la kuo.
So I didn't join.
I
did not join.
Mana kafu panelo nyina.
Why?
Munatina.
I knew the investigation would not be easy.
No, kiskisiro nying atasone yala.
They would come up with a report that doesn't suit them.
ngala ne ni kisikiziro ke faye bandi ni report be fin la me yalon ko report on atina ni nyale fe.
Why did you think that?
I knew these people were definitely normal. So basically, if you would be part of that investigation just to prepare a report for the delegates coming,
ngala ne nyumol pour nganda dunje kisikiziro inte sone ala pour yeda bulo kisikiziro nyina pour yena report so mo la me yalon ko lunda wala be nyana la banko kanjang.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You just suspected that this was going to be another cover-up.
Ya je nyadila comme ni mina kule kala kule de bien ko don privé femme bolala fo wonte ba.
That's correct.
And you did not want to be part of that cover-up. Did they do anything to you for your refusal to participate?
No.
But these two other Gambians that disappeared, did the police do anything that you know that was aimed at covering up?
To
cover up the disappearances.
Two Gambians?
How about this trip to Bissau?
It was the panel of investigators that went to Bissau. They were assigned to find out what happened before the delegates would arrive from abroad.
But isn't the case that they just went to Bissau to fabricate evidence suggesting that these people had left the Gambia and gone to Guinea-Bissau, and therefore the Gambia government did not or could not know what happened to them?
Gambia le tata Guinea-Bissau sa woka masakunda Gambia la masakunda imam fello ela koto.
That could be the case.
Could be or was the case?
That was the case.
It was a fabrication by the government to suggest that these people had gone to Bissau when they have not.
How do
you feel, or how did you feel about your government at the time?
It was terrible. If you knew what had happened and then you were assigned to sound that same task to investigate or to prepare a report for the delegates due to come to the Gambia. That was how I was informed that the two delegates were.
Was it for the special rapporteur for enforced disappearances?
It's correct. The two repertoires
from the United Nations.
Yes, I told them Fat Jaumane came from Sukuta and I am from Sukuta. If Mane is related to Fat Jau, I cannot be part of it.
Well, how did you feel serving this government that was torturing its own citizens, disappearing its own citizens, fabricating evidence against its own citizens and sentencing them to death? How did you feel about it?
I felt disappointed.
What do you have to say to these people in whose cases you participated and knew and sentenced to very long terms of imprisonment or even death?
mol mi yalon ko ite dabula tele ila kuol to mi yalon ko wala yatina fon ye kitindi kabri ye kitindi dolbi je ye soron nya jaw bala fo sanji jama dolbi je fay ko nyanta ke fale sayte mun kalamote balo bala wo karola.
I would tell them that I felt their conditions too much.
Ba fole defan kunno ila ko nyin alhalo nyin alata nyame no nga kalamutam balo kono bakele.
I was sorry for whatever happens to them. I could stop it in every way. I would stop it. I knew how I was trained. I take these trainings very seriously. I was doing what I could there. I was left with no choice. If any one of them had felt being inflicted torture, I am appealing to them to forgive. All participate in the Never Again syndrome. We aim for a better Gambia. Everybody.
No further questions, Mr. Chair?
Thank you very much, Emma Council, and thank you, Mr. Cham, for your testimony. When did the West African migrants leave Barra? You said you were the most senior service personnel on the ground.
During Africa tundo la yang la banku dingol bri bondi Barra ko itela mun moti me alonko makamo la karola itela makamo selta mo be bri be bon la jibe sambala.
Not the most senior there present. The most senior from the police headquarters.
Police wala karola itela makamo be mo be nyaro ji. Police wala karola.
Fine. When did they leave Barra? Where did they go?
So they left Barra in the afternoon. To the Navy.
So it was the Navy that moved them from Barra to wherever they went.
I'm not sure about that. I don't know what the means of their transportation. I met them at the Navy.
And when exactly did you hear that they were murdered?
There was a day when 9 bodies were found around Ghana town.
8.
My OC called me. I lived in Sukuta. That there are bodies found here. I went to see the bodies. And I could identify that these are Ghanaians. They were taken to the mortuary. And I attended the postmortem.
And what happened to the bodies?
The bodies later, I think, they were buried. And at one time, the OC Major Crimes Malamin was to transport the bodies from here to Ghana.
No, we will hear a bit more when we get to the hearings on this, but where were the bodies buried?
I
did not know where they were buried. But they were exhumed and Molamin transported them to Ghana. After some years.
All 9 bodies were exhumed and sent them to Ghana, you say?
Molamin would be in a better position.
Amira de molla men sisi atale betar atale be ko nyini ngaro nyi jabi nola.
Commissioners, if you have any questions, please indicate. Commissioner Carr, you have the floor, please.
Commissioner Carr,
thank you, Chairman.
Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Cham, for your testimony before this commission.
Mr. Cham, you said the Andrew Mindi commission on Yatin Walajam.
I have one question. And it's in relation to Harris Hambu's testimony before the commission. When he appeared before the commission, he told us that he was a passive participant in the investigation. And that Langtomong was in charge of the investigations. Would you say that was true?
To my understanding, Harry was the head of that institution. I would say he's the head. He was not a passive member. And of course was the CDS. They were both frequenting the panel.
Perhaps we have to be fair to both the witness and to Harry. He did say that he had administrative authority over the panel, supervisory, he provided the logistics
and everything.
He hosted the panel, but he did not have direct involvement in the work of the panel. That's how he said it.
That's correct.
And would that be true?
Yes, that's true.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, the other question I want to ask is regarding Chief Mane. You know where what eventually happened to him?
Oh, Annie.
Thank you.
Council, would we have copies of the reports that were sent to the AG's office from these panels for our records?
For some we would, but others we wouldn't. The Langtombong one we would, we have that. The Nur Cham one we have. So we are going to put them all in a bundle, the NIA documents that were recovered.
Well, I hope we get the reports of the panels, even if they were manufactured, the word that you used.
Yes, we would put them all together in one bundle.
Splendid.
Thank you.
Deputy Chair, you have the floor, please.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Thank you, Lead Counsel.
Deputy Chair,
thank you very much, Mr. Cham.
Mr. Cham.
Sorry, I'm touching on a sore point for you. But I just want to ask follow-up questions to what the Chair asked. The hall that these people were kept in, was the hall at the Navy?
Yes,
at the Navy.
At the Navy.
So when you took these 3 people away, were there any implications on you after that?
I'm sure they've forgotten about it.
No, I don't mean those place.
No implications.
Okay, then, thank you.
Commissioner Jones, you have the floor,
Commissioner Jones,
thank you, Chair, and thank you, Mr. Cham, for your testimony. I'm also going to focus on the 3 that you saved, Lamin, SCM, and Eric.
Eric.
You said they were acquitted and discharged.
Yes.
Could you please provide more information to the Commission? What were they charged for? What led to the acquittal and discharge?
Basically, one Sami, also a Ghanaian, during their time at the detention, I did not have close contact with Sami because I was careful not to. I think Sami filed something in the court, like illegal detention or anything of that sort. One day he came with the order that they were acquitted and discharged. So we embraced each other and then they left.
So does that mean when you took them in, did you make any formal arrest record in your books? I'm just trying to understand further what happened.
I have those
their details in the station diary.
Police station diary.
Were they formally detained anywhere? Because you said they were the serious crimes with you for a very long time.
Major crimes.
Major crimes. My apologies.
Major crimes. They were detained for a certain period.
Yes, indeed, luckily, major crime for what young.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Thank you, please, Council.
Just one issue I jumped. Mr. Witness, you were passed over for promotion for about 11 years.
9 years.
9 years. Was that normal?
That wasn't normal.
With all the training you have received, do you think that there must have been a reason for the failure to promote you?
Yes.
Tell the commission.
One day I was going for a trek at CRR. It's a conflict between the Fulas and Mandinkas at Nyamina Sambang. Whilst on preparation to go to that trek, I received a call from my CMC that I should answer to the AIG Crimes Office.
AIG Crime Office
Immediately. I am responsible. I'm the divisional crime officer at Upper West Coast Brikama.
Division Upper West Coast Latundola Opa Santoro.
Supervising about 12 stations.
And police station tang animfula ngawale korosi la birak ben korosi
I left Brikama. And rose to Banjul.
Banjul.
Upon arrival at the AIG Crimes Office Dembaso,
AIG officer
he told me the IG is not very happy about you. That he has your audio alleging him that since he is not doing anything about Gorgimbub's theft case, I said he has also eaten part of that money. I was very embarrassed. I was disappointed. I knew he would not promote me. Those were just allegations and I didn't say it. Because out of those who he is promoting, I am the most senior ASP. I think those are the issues. I didn't say that. My issue was a hot cake on his table. Senior management had been telling him about me. He told them, he promised them that he was going to send a supplementary to the PMO.
Do you believe you are being victimized?
Yes, very well.
I'll just leave it at that, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Please go ahead, Commissioner Jones.
Yeah. Sorry, Mr. Chairman, I'll just come back to ask a supplementary question. Given that the 3 were acquitted and discharged, I would want to assume that Sammy, or whoever their lawyer was able to prove beyond reasonable doubt that they were not mercenaries.
Momo mialango wala kedela loyata waita nino la senata konyul yetumi minna komola muite mialango enata nyimbanko kana pruka boye nyimbanko kan omufenati mialango amansoto.
So Sammy was extra careful not to mention anything like or to attach them to the Ghanaians.
Jigire nyinna ko Sammy keta mol mialango hakilo tu bakela puru akane ke moti mialango abe chokila ko nyimu
whatever they have filed at the court.
So fensoro mialango yo wala kaito dundi kiti dulato.
Must have been no relation to the Ghanaian migrants.
So that means it was filed as a private case, nothing to do with the other ones that were already killed.
At
the level of the police, however, I'm sure you guys know they were part of the people who were arrested at Barra.
Police nana police la fanala njikita ko atol police la ala nako nyuluketa molete media ko yeto lemuta numbara sate okon.
It was known to only few.
Police danda modanta neolong.
Okay, I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Which you have another? Yeah, go ahead, please.
Thank you. I just want to know who the IG was that you are referring to. Start your promotion.
Police kuntonko nye jumalem.
The present inspector.
Membe nyaron ko yala police wala nyaron ko sainte wala. Mahmoud Job.
Thank
you. Which group of the service personnel made the branding in Barra? Branded the migrants as mercenaries.
The soldiers.
Sorry?
That would be the soldiers, of course.
Soldiers were the ones who branded them as mercenaries.
Junglers.
Junglers.
If you have any,
one additional.
Please go ahead.
I need some clarification on the Lamin Tunkara. What happened to Lamin Tunkara?
Lamin Tunkara, when I returned from the mission, Marion and somebody visited me. It was Marion who told me Lamin Tunkara was rearrested. And finally killed. Finally killed.
And killed. I thought so, because we have a victim here who...
At the time he was detained, his wife was pregnant.
Yes, that's the one. I was just trying to link. Thank you very much.
On that issue, we're still investigating. We want to know for how long Lamin Tunkara was with you at the police. Like 2 months?
Karifula?
Or a month and
and that would make things a little bit difficult in view of the other evidence. But that is a matter for the commission to investigate.
Indeed.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Commissioner C, did you ask for the floor?
Commissioner C.
To to continue their journey.
Jigita nung ibe kulunga batun kanu membe sikala
Before they were arrested.
silo ni muta janni ibe inari ni muta watol.
They were, I would not be accurate in this, but they are more than 40.
Isiara more than 90.
Fine, thank you. If you have any concluding remarks to make, Mr. Cham, please proceed to do so now.
Thank you very much, Chairman. The rest of the commissioners.
And Commissioner Tomalu.
Thank you, lead counsel.
Lead counsel.
I have a few points to make clear. That I did not come here to report anybody. I came here because I have to participate in the Never Again process. Likewise, everybody who came here. During the process, my names were being mentioned here several times. One Alaji Gay also mentioned my name. That I visited his compound. And 3 days after he was arrested. I'm saying before this commission here, that story was unfounded. That is not true. If I had gone to his compound, what did I go there for? If it was only to direct the NIA to his compound, I can do that even from here. I am not the type of officer who instead will put people in problems. I do my job in accordance to the law without fear or favor. So I will tell this commission that Alaji's story that I came to his compound was not true. And if I had gone to his compound and he was arrested 2 days later, how many people had gone to his compound after me? Why did he associate it to me? Apart from that, I was also in 2016. I was published on Facebook as a jungler. With my photo and telephone number. I had a lot of calls from individuals outside Gambia and Gambia. I had a lot of insults. And that being the case, some very important friends had blocked me. Because of the picture on Facebook was not real. I seized this opportunity to tell them that's not the person they know. I'm not a jungler. I don't have those hands. I don't have that mind. So let them understand now that the picture on Facebook in 2016 was out of malice. That's not true. For the treasoners, I would say I'm very sorry that it happened the way it happened. Find a place in your hearts. We come together as one whole. During the process, I wasn't surprised that they confessed. The reason why I wasn't surprised was the ways and manners in which they were arrested. Having involved in treason, having the knowledge of the gravity of treason, Arrests were being made from day one. And you are still sitting in your houses. So it was a surprise when they were bringing them one after the other. Having known what you are involved in, you have all the choices to do whatever. But I would say I'm sorry about what had happened to you. The Gambia belongs to everybody. And then together we make one Gambia. I'm brought up by distinguished officers who taught me about loyalty to the state and did not compromise this in discipline. I would conclude here, Mr. Chairman. I thank you all.
Thank you very much for your testimony, Mr. Cham. And for the expression of remorse for the violations and abuses you were involved in. We will begin our proceedings again, resume tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock sharp. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Kibaraji ko imani en e damal cellale ko wawata dandude